Grips. I'm here with Adam this morning. We are now looking at just a general test for lots of things really. So this is what we call in the physio world the Thomas test, the T test. So we're going to get Adam into a position where we can then assess for hip flexor, quad and IT band tightness. So it's a nice, literally takes 10 seconds. And we can actually use this position to help with a bit of stretch as well, actually, if you've got a partner with you. So all we've got is Adam up, laying on his back. We're going to get him to take one leg up. If he holds behind his knee for me, and then relax. So pull that in as tight as you can. The leg we're actually going to be looking at is this one. So from the side angle, we'll do another video straight on in a sec. What we can see, so actually in this position, we can see that hip flexor tightness. If the thigh's coming up off the bed a little bit, and there's a little bit of air underneath here, shows there's some tightness through here. If this leg isn't sitting at 90 degrees, then it means that the quad tightness as well is there. So as soon as we do that and let go, you can see that Adam wants to extend that quad. So it just shows there's tightness through here as well as the hip flexor in both instances. So whilst he's in this position, if you've got a partner, we can actually work this as a bit of a stretch. So in this position, I'm just going to push that flat to the bed, and then I can use my leg just to introduce a little bit of that quad stretch as well. So Adam's really enjoying it, clearly. We'll show the other angle because we can test the IT band in this position, but what we'll do is just hang around 30 seconds on this position. You can use it if for those people who are specifically tight in both areas really badly, so if they're like sticking up all there, you can just kind of sit in this position, just hang out, you know, let gravity do its thing. It'll want to take that hip flexor down to the bed, and again, just try and allow that to naturally sit 90 degrees. But really good test just to see where you tight before you start. Number two, with or without partner, you can use it just to kind of do a nice passive stretch without actually doing too much work. So we're going to show you from the front angle now how that shows on the IT band. Right, so as you just saw from our previous video, using this Thomas test just to assess for three things. So we've already said about the hip flexor and the quad tightness. Now looking at this angle, what we can see is the actual tightness of the IT band. So again, looking at Adam's position, it should be sitting kind of parallel to the bench really. So in this position, we just see where it's just the legs wanting to come out a bit. So again, we can use this position as a nice stretch just by pushing that leg in a little bit, if you want, without pushing Adam off the bed. We can get also a nice combo of then all three movements. If I wanted to, I can add a bit of tension on the hip flexor, push in to get this IT band, and I can reach down and increase a little bit of quad stretch. So we can work all positions in terms of this component. Perfect little test just to start with. If you've got someone, just have a little look at it, or you can film yourself and just see where you're tight. Once you've worked out if it's the quad, if it's the IT band, or the hip flexor, all three, get the foam roller, work on all these components. Again, jump on afterwards, always do a test and retest afterwards just to see if you've had any positive outcome with it. Left and right, see which side's tighter, but again, nice little quick test that takes all 10 seconds to quickly do, and then you can kind of dictate the warm-up around that.
What's that good for? Knee pain? Back pain?
Everything really. So specifically I like it for knee pain in terms of when we look at the kneecap, the structures that attach into it, we're talking about the quads, the hip flexor with the rectus femoris, as well as the IT band, they all come down into converge into here. So if anyone's got any anterior knee pain coming from this kneecap here, what we might see is that, again, it's pulling out to the side. This test will be quite positive in terms of we're assessing this position and they'll be kind of up here and all over the gap. So again, that will correlate with why they've got knee pain. This would show that we need to kind of work them into these positions, and then we can retest that on the front of the kneecap really. So